Hello, welcome to my new channel and a new series called Let's Make the Adabox September 2016 edition. So what are we going to do? Well, first of all, we're going to unbox this package I got today, which is the Adabox from a company in New York called Adafruit, and they send out all kind of electronics. You can buy all kinds of things from them, lots of fun toys. And this is a new thing that they've started doing, which is sending out a box every quarter with essentially all the parts in it you need to make a project and instructions on their website, all that good stuff, so that you've got something complete. You don't have to go pick out your parts and order them. It's just all in one box, and it seems like a pretty cool idea. What we're going to do in this series is not follow their project exactly, but sort of build our own thing, but try to stay constrained with what is actually in the box. So I'm not really sure all the things in the box. I've got some ideas because I did look briefly at the website earlier today. So I think I know what's in there as far as a few of the main components, but not totally sure. So, let's just open it up and then we'll talk about what we're going to build and try to figure that out, because right now I have no idea. All right, let's see what we got in here. Okay, we've got an inspirational quote. Awesome. And of course on the other side is the invoice and whatnots. Bubble wrap, everybody loves that. Adabox, really fancy looking box. Cool. Throw that away on the floor. Now let's see what's in here. Oh, this feels so cool. So yeah, blue piece of paper. And okay, good. We've got some list of contents here, which we'll go through in a second. And yeah, blue screen. Okay, what else is in here? Aha, open this from the bottom. Oh wow, that is like really fancy paper. And of course, Adabox, in case we've forgotten it. There you go, you can see it a little bit better. God, I almost don't want to like open this, it's so nicely wrapped, like fancy. Alright. Wow, that's a lot of stuff. Okay, cool. Let's grab these things and sit them down. And now that box will get to go in my box fetish closet, since I've got to keep these fancy boxes. And yeah, now let's see what all we've got here. Stuff. Okay, so this is, right, so this is a USB, the micro USB to regular, so probably need that to hook up like a microcontroller or something to that effect. Oh, so this is kind of nice. This is a, this little, looks like a little pin that you can wear with their feather, which is one of their line of products. So that's cool. Male-to-male jumper wires. So you see they got male on both ends. Great. Some more male-to-male jumper wires, the shorter ones. And believe me, these things are like super useful. I use those like every project. Okay, so this looks dangerous. So don't drink wine or you'll catch on fire. I think that's what I'm getting from this thing here. Yeah, so lithium battery, lithium ion battery, 500 milliamps, which that's kind of a standard for like little microcontrollers. All right, this thing is a piezo buzzer. So that is what we can use to like make noises. always good for annoying people. We have, awesome, a little proto board here so we can prototype our whatever we're going to make. What else? Okay, so this is a temperature sensor. Looks almost like a transistor with 3 pins on it, so that'll be interesting to do something with. And of course you have to have an LED. This looks like probably, obviously an RGB LED since it's got 4 pins. It's kind of hard to see, but yeah, trust me, 4 pins. That is an RGB LED. Whoa. So this pack, I think I've seen these kind of packs from them before. And basically what you got is some push button switches in here. You've got some large LEDs, red, green, and blue, which is excellent. Looks like we've also got a light sensor in there, some resistors, and these little things would be like a little potentiometer, looks like, and yeah, maybe some capacitors in there as well. So it looks like just a grab bag of little components that we'll probably be able to do something with. Okay, ooh, this is neat. So this is a flex sensor. So the idea here is, as you're flexing it, then it will change the resistance inside of the resistor. So you can, use these 2 pins and figure out the resistance inside of that. So that is neat. All right, we got 2 other little things here. Let's see. So this is wrapped up in some bubble wrap. So let's open this up carefully. It looks like it's got a few free hanging, okay, just one free hanging component in there. All right. So this is your basic little display. And looking at the sheet here, we can kind of see that's going to be that standard LCD, 16 by 2, plus extras. Yeah, so white on blue. So we'll have white, text or whatever on top of the blue background. So that's cool. And then the last thing in here, so this thing also had like another little potentiometer. So probably this is going to be like controlling the brightness on the screen is going to be my guess, is what you can use that for. And then this last piece, I'm really not sure what it is. Okay, let's see, looking at the data sheet here. Oh, actually there's 2 things on here. There's 2 sides to this. So this, let's see if we can get a little bit better light on that. And I'm not having much luck. That's terrible. Okay, yeah, so there we go. This is a feather, and this is the Adabox version. So you can kind of see here, looks like that is micro SD slot. So my guess is that this one is useful for like your Internet of Things projects where you want to kind of throw this somewhere and let it save out data that it's collecting. This thing also has the little adapter here for power, which we can hook our battery up to, and there's our micro USB for programming it. And then of course they've already soldered on all of the headers, which is pretty nice. Then you can sort of see all the different pins and stuff that we have access to. So your basic kind of Arduino-ish thing here with some analog inputs, power, grounds, some digital on this side, and probably a few more things that we'll get into later and figure out what we can use out of that. So very cool, little microcontroller. And on the other side, yes. So this is a NeoPixel wing, what they would call, and you can see it's got some headers there. And so yeah, the idea here is that you've just got this little matrix of NeoPixels. So that's 4 by 8, So we should be able to do, a little display with that as well. So now we have kind of two different displays we can use, the LCD and then this little NeoPixel. We've got some plain old LEDs that we can use. We've got an additional RGB LED. So we got plenty of things that can light up and such. A couple of cool sensors here. We've got this temperature sensor, we've got the flex sensor, and we can make some sounds with the piezo. Yeah, so we should be able to build something with this. I think probably the simplest thing that you'll see built with it is just going to be like a temperature logger. So if you've got this temperature sensor, you can hook that up and hook that into this logger. Doesn't look like it comes with a micro SD card. I haven't seen it in this list, and let me look real quick on the list here. I do not see a micro SD card, so it's okay. I've got one, but just one thing to keep in mind: this does not have one with a pack. So we'll at least need that if we're going to actually do something with that. Not required, but it is kind of neat, and we might come up with some ideas on how to use that. So yeah, here's the box, and we should go and look at the website to figure out what kind of projects that you can do with it, and we will figure out what we're going to do, because we're obviously going to go off the rails a little bit and do something on our own. So yeah, there you go. Adabox unboxed, and now comes the fun part of figuring out what we're going to do, and then hacking around on this proto board. And generally what we'd want to do is prototype here first, and then possibly put it inside some kind of enclosure, or creature or monster or robot, or insert cool thing here. So yeah, let's go to the website and we'll be right back. All right, I'm on my computer now and went to the website listed in this welcome sheet. You can see the URL here, learnadafruit.com/Adabox001. This is the first Adabox they've ever put out, and we're kind of all new to it. So yeah, nice website, good introduction on who this is for. This is sort of a beginner box. As you can see, a lot of the stuff there is already soldered and really ready to go. I mean, just plug it into the prototyping board and we can start doing stuff with it. So yeah, it really isn't for you if you don't have these things. Although you could buy these components from their site individually and do something with it. But I think the goal is really to have this box, and it's all inclusive. So if you're already an expert, then just go to their learn.adafruit.com site and start just tinkering around with all their different projects. So in that mind, what I wanted to do was really kind of go and figure out some kind of project, but show you all the steps. So this is going to be a beginner series. So if you don't know anything at all, you can use this. Follow along. Again, if you want to buy these components, you can buy them from their website. Or if you just kind of want to follow along and be a fly on the wall while we actually build something, that's cool too. You'll still learn something, and I think it'll be fun. So yeah, let's see what all this website gives us here. So it looks like there is a unboxing instructions. Yeah, here's all the different things that come with it, which we already went over. So that's cool. A little bit more details on that one bag that had different components in it. Looks like it has 10 different resistors and one capacitor, actually two capacitors. Our sensors, yeah, we've got these breadboard friendly potentiometers. We've got a light sensor in there. Yep, so we've got the LCD and we've got the NeoPixel feathering. Great. So let's learn a little bit more about this data logger, or ADA logger. So yeah, it's again, it's based on their Feather series, and I've got one of these that's the Huzzah version with the Wi-Fi chip on it, and it's really great. So I've already used it a little bit. Again, it's Arduino compatible, so that's really nice. We can use Arduino IDE to program it. And so yeah, let's see. Okay, so it's a data logger or a data reader. So technically we could put some data on the card and read it from the microcontroller. That might be kind of cool, instead of just, writing data to it, or maybe we'll do both. Here's all the details on the chip. You can, again, go to their website and get all the specs on it, but it's pretty cool. Again, kind of like an Arduino, decent amount of inputs and outputs, and lots of other little connections we can use. So that is great. Battery, just like we thought, this is a 500 milliamp LiPo battery. So that is cool. Oh, nice. So if the battery is plugged into the Feather and the USB cable is plugged into the Feather, then the battery will automatically recharge. So we don't have to build a kind of recharge circuit or use one of the other dongles that you can actually get to recharge it. So that's excellent. Again, these LiPo batteries are, kind of dangerous. I mean, they can catch fire. You definitely want to keep your eye on these things and not do bad things to them, because they're kind of nasty. They're great. They give you a lot of power and a lot of small space, but yeah, you want to be careful with them. I think we already kind of know what the breadboard is for, and the jumper wires. We know what LEDs are. Yes, it's good. And yeah, got one RGB, and then we've got that NeoPixel thing, which I think there's more details on that down below. Our push buttons. So this site is really doing a good job of explaining the basics of all these different components. I'm not going to go through that right now. We may do that, as we're building, but you can certainly go to their website and get more about that. But basics of how the push buttons work, which is cool. Resistors, potentiometers, light sensor, which is really an easy sensor to get started with. It's really one of the easiest. It's kind of what I always use to test something out. Just a really simple sensor to get the kind of relative light level in the room. This is really cool. So flex sensor, I haven't actually used one of these yet, but these are pretty neat. As you can see, back in your history, the power glove, that's kind of what it used. So, so it can detect flexing or bending in one direction. So, not two. So that's cool. So very, very neat thing that we're going to try to use. Temperature sensor. Again, this is really just the basic temperature sensor. So probably not super accurate, but enough for our use, I would think. Piezo buzzer, great. LCD. So yeah, this is the kind of thing we'll be able to do with this, actually display messages on that thing. So it's actually 2 lines. So when it says 16 by 2, that's not necessarily the pixels, because you can kind of see that there's 2 lines, and each line has 16 different areas. And inside that, it looks like 5 or 6 wide and 6 or 7 tall. So yeah, a decent number of pixels to do something with. So that's neat. And yeah, the little potentiometer here you can connect to get a change in the contrast or visibility. And finally, you've got this NeoPixel Featherwing. This is going to be a lot of fun to play with because these NeoPixels are great, and you can do patterns, and because each one is RGB and individually accessible, you should be able to do something pretty cool with that. So that is going to be neat. And yeah, so there we go. We have this, and let's see. I don't really see any specific
like here's your project steps of what you should build with it. So that's kind of cool. Um, you know, it's really given us freedom to like decide what we're gonna do. I think for a beginner though, it would be kind of nice to have some step-by-steps. So that might exist somewhere on this page. Um, Probably, it looks like what they've done is taken some of the stuff from their Learn site and, you know, based on the components that are in the box, they have linked it over to those tutorials. So now that we know what we're dealing with, we've seen the website, let's think about this for a bit and then we will figure out what we're going to build.
All right, back over here at the workbench, and so yeah, we've definitely got a microcontroller we can do something with, and I really feel like it would be fun to read some data from this, from the SD card, and in some way use this flex sensor as some kind of input. So we could do a musical, some kind of musical thing because we got the piezo, which can generate tones and noises. So that is one thing we could do with that. We've, definitely got some, displays that we can use, so we can definitely visualize some data. Um, so yeah, I think we'll start with that, and we'll go from there. So we're definitely going to use the piezo, the flex sensor, the light sensor. Don't know about the temperature sensor yet. I don't know really how well that would fit into a musical instrument. Um, but yeah, we can definitely use these the LEDs and such to figure out some way to make some music out of this piezo. And I think also we'll use these push buttons to provide some kind of input. So that way we can kind of control what kind of sounds that this thing can make. And, again, input will use this little flex sensor and the light sensor. And probably what we'll do is use this LCD to show like what what kind of what kind of tone we're going to create, and then we'll just use this NeoPixel thing to make like cool patterns. So like while you're making noise on this instrument, we will show some cool patterns on there. And yeah, that was me knocking my tripod. So yeah, I think that's where we're going to get started on it, and we'll be back in the next episode to get going. Thanks for watching, and if you like this kind of stuff, then hit the subscribe button, and I really appreciate that. And yeah, just kind of getting started with this channel, so still working on cameras and sound and all the infrastructure to make this happen. So yeah, leave some comments below if you think that the music idea is terrible and you have another great idea that you'd like to see me build. Leave something in the comments, and we will see you next time. Thanks.